not seen up to this point the cell phone video that drives home the fury that so many people here in Ferguson are feeling right now. It was taken a week ago, last Saturday afternoon. Michael Brown's body is still in the middle of the street after that 18-year-old was shot by a police officer. It was there for hours, uncovered, and a crowd, and you'll see them gather around, and they'll start to respond to police there. We have to warn you that there's a chance that you'll find this video and the audio very disturbing, but we think it's important that you see it. We're not going to speak over it. We want you to hear it and understand what's happening here in this suburb of St. Louis. It's a little more than 2 minutes. Watch and listen.
Said he had his hands up and everything, man. Trying to get out? I don't know. I went out. I just heard the gunshot. I heard the gunshots from all over. Stay all the way up. I knew something happened. It's too early in the day. Who is the? Do he stay here? No, it was Daddy right there, man. Daddy just tried to go around. They grabbed him. They in that black T-shirt police talking to. And that's his auntie right there on the phone. And them screws. Yeah, boy, it's dirt.
What began as a small but fierce rebellion exploded into a wildfire that has engulfed the whole country. The Black Lives Matter movement was originated from the killing in Sanford on February 12, 2012. George Zimmerman, the neighborhood watch coordinator for the gated community, shot dead Trayvon Martin, who was a young 17-year-old male. The protest of indirect action from the people in Sanford, Florida, has changed the debate on Black Lives Matter. George Zimmerman's trial verdict ended in a heart-shattering result. He was not convicted guilty of his crimes. This set the Black Lives Matter movement in a running race to stop segregation. This is a reenactment of what happened on February 12, 2012.
Sanford Police Department, line being reported to Sean. Hey, we've had some break-ins in my neighborhood, and there's a real suspicious guy. This guy looks like he's up to no good, or he's on drugs or something. Okay, and this guy, is he white, black, or Hispanic? He looks black. Did you see what he was wearing? Yeah, a dark hoodie, like a gray hoodie, and either jeans or sweatpants and white tennis shoes.
He said a man was following him, and I told him he should run.
He's got something in his hands. I don't know what his deal is. These assholes, they always get away. Shit, he's running. He's running? Which way is he running? Down towards the...
What's going on over there? Is everything okay over there? Is everything okay?
It also started many rebellions, such as the case of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, which was the news footage you witnessed at the beginning of the film. He was an unarmed African-American male who was only 18 years of age. He was killed by a white police officer who brutally beat him in front of a store which he was stealing from. Then the officer killed him with his gun and left him there for 4 hours in the street. 4 hours.
To make Black Lives Matter a known event, Garza went onto Facebook, Alicia Garza, and expressed her passion with a love note to all black people. Patrisse Cullors read the love note and started sharing Garza's words with others. Every time Cullors shared it, she would use hashtag Black Lives Matter which started the movement. The next day, the two women organized a campaign based on the phrase. This was a call to take action to make sure that we are creating a world where Black lives do matter, Garza said. Opal Tometi was another activist who was knowledgeable in the field of immigrant rights. These three women started making Twitter accounts and encouraging users to share stories of why Black Lives Matter. As people took the Black Lives Matter demand into the streets, it helped get out to the U.S. and show others that what was really happening. Colors also led marches, and Garza put protest signs in shoe shops, asking people to follow in their footsteps. Many followed in their footsteps in order to gain equal rights.
We believe that Black Lives Matter is an important movement in history and in present day. This social movement has been happening since the 1950s, with civil rights to the present day in 2016, with the topic of police brutality, racial profiling, and equality. However, whether you're Black with the queers, trans, Indian, or Hispanics, we believe everyone matters. In comparison, the civil rights movement and Black Lives Matter both try to incorporate everyone so we can all be one equal nation. Black Lives Matter is a political intervention in a world where Black lives are intentionally targeted for death. It is a declaration of Black folks' contribution to this society, humanity, and our resilience in the face of daily oppression.
Through the 1960s movement, there was a CNCC, a CLC, a CORE, etc. Now, these organizations were nonviolent, but with this social movement was a domino effect for the rest of the nation to get involved to stand up for their rights. Also, the Black Panthers were organized specifically for defense, for self-defense, and armed its members to defend themselves against a big problem known as police brutality. The oppressed society addressed the civil and political rights that were denied to Black people, access of public accommodations, the right to vote, and ensuring fair employment and housing opportunities. It did not directly confront the racialized degradation Black people endured and may continue to endure at the hands of the police. In the 1950s, we saw fights of unjust laws and segregation happen with many people that were different. Something we also believe is that you should be different. With segregation, we now see that something has to be done to protect your friends and neighbors. As we can see, history repeats itself from back then to now. The social movement is recurring in a different form, therefore now known as Black Lives Matter, an even stronger movement than before.
What the Black Lives Matter protests have not only put police reform on the police agenda, but demanded that American society reconsider how it values Black lives.